I'm Ville Koivumäki, Head of IT for Fortum City Solutions. Now we're looking after the systems that the business use to run their services. Well, it was about development, how development happens and why so often it doesn't fly. I mean, we fail, and it's sort of, I think that the prerequisites that you have to have in place when you develop something is that you need to have understanding and you need to have commitment. You should model the environment that you work on, whether that would be business ecosystem modeling or capability mapping, but those are the tools that you should use to get the understanding and the commitment. Also, what helps in commitment is the communication skills. You should really think when you communicate, what's your message, who you're talking to. It's sort of stop and think. When you develop something, you should, if you, let's say you develop a new service, you should stop and think not just, you know, the technical solution that you're building, but the things around it, the operating model, how it affects to your, and do you have the data available that you need to build the new service? Does the new service create any new processes? Do we need new skills in either building the service or operating the service? Because the operating part is so easy to, you know, forget when you're in the development mode. But you should always think of, you know, how this will work in practice, how you lead the change when you will put it in place. And it might be that it feels a little bit, you know, small. It's just an app. But in practice, when you start to think that, okay, there are customers using the app, they will need to log in, who's taking care of that, and all that. So you should stop and think, and also think that which roles you want to take yourself. I mean, there's plenty of things that you should, there are, you know, better people to do that, then why not outsource it and, you know, buy it as a service, although it's part of your service. But then it's sort of stop and think how the ecosystem will develop if you bring in new stuff. And then, of course, when it comes to the communications part, it's always stop and think who we're talking, adjust your message for your audience, and simplify. Well, when it comes to the modeling thing, what I was saying in my presentation is that you should avoid over-engineering the modeling. It's so easy to, you know, model everything, although you are developing just a small corner, but you are, you know, modeling the whole enterprise. That makes no sense. You should not do it. And I've been thinking that could we get the 80% of the results by doing just 20% of the modeling? I mean, just focus on the things in hand. And therefore, I mean, if you want to think that what's the payback of your modeling, you invest in technology and people who do that, it's really hard to sort of to calculate. But then if that delivers the understanding so that you choose the right things that you do, then I think it's worth it. There are good products that you have, and I have had good experiences with the consultings that you have delivered over there. We're using EnterpriseArchitect, and only when needed. It's sort of, it's a handy way of modeling how things work. Of course, you could do them with PowerPoints or Visio, but it's much handier, and so that you can connect the things there in the background, and that gives value as well. And it has been interesting to see that we have had people in the projects that are like professionals on their own segment, like waste management, recycling, and all of a sudden when we have been talking about the business capabilities and the processes, and they come to us, to the management, and say that, hey, could you please come and work with us, because we want to understand that how do we connect the critical capabilities and the processes, that could we work on this together, which is really surprising, as none of them have had any training on any architecture modeling, and that was really nice to see that they understood that, hey, we need to think that how these things are connected, and then of course it's easier if you have a good modeling tool, you can sort of make the connections and then present them. Dare to improve.